Welcome back to the National Stadium. This for the Gibson Mccook Relays, the 2022 edition. We had horse racing a short while ago. Sean Grant alongside my good friend David Nugent, who's nodding his head. Don't know why he's nodding his head though. Maybe he's saying that I am David Nugent. I don't know. Peter John Breakeridge, the technical operator on hand, who's in studios though. Mr. Oscar, I remembered his name last week though for the first time in about 3 weeks. So Oscar, big up to you, sir. A special good afternoon to you. Bertie at the front of the office, a special good afternoon to you. So we just missed one race, the girls class 4x1, which was won by Edwin Allen, and many persons unhappy with what had happened. Why is that?
In class 4?
Yes, in class 4.
I'm not certain because I don't know. Maybe because Edwin put two cocoa in the basket.
Oh my word! You're gone back to the cocoa argument now. I don't know if that's going to happen though, but the cocoa argument is happening for David Nugent. But one thing that we can say though, it has been exciting so far. A completion of 4 races in the 4x1, or completion of 4 races for the 2022 edition.
Yeah, exciting so far. In the top 3 classes, class 1, class 2, class 3, went to expectations. You had clear favorites. Class 4 can be a little bit of a mixed bag because you see the athletes early in the season, but these athletes, some of them, they're new to the school, they're new talents, and some of them, even though they're not new, they're just getting into the system or had a low year last year, right? So you don't really know what to expect in class 4, but I was a little bit worried about Edwin Allen in terms of the lower classes and the sprints. Class 1 is superb. Class 2 is sufficient. Class 3, they really only have one sprinter. We saw Terry Long on the backstretch. Did a fantastic job for Edwin Allen, put them in the lead. But on the anchor leg, their anchor leg runner was getting run down by everybody. She looked as if she was going back way, ended up 4th, right? So I was a little bit worried about what they would how they'd look in the lower classes. But seeing them in class 4, it's obvious that they may not have 4 excellent sprinters as in class 1, but they have a solid core in class 4.
Do you know the clubs here? You know the clubs here for the next event?
Let's see.
Sprint Tech.
I see Sprint Tech out there. I have to commend Sprint Tech. They're always.
Well, we had 4 persons there though, so
it's only
listed.
2 teams.
So clubs and institutions 4x1, and on the start list we had 4 teams though: Michael University, Sprint Tech, GC Foster, and Mount Elite. But so Sprint Tech is there.
And in lane 6,
Mount Elite.
And Mount Elite.
So the 2 teams for the women's clubs.
So no GC Foster, no Michael.
A little bit disappointing though, only 2 teams for this club and institutions 4x1. However, bleak conditions over the National Stadium for the 2022 Gibson Mccook Relays. Sprint Tech in lane 4, and in lane 6 is Mount Elite. Do you know much about Mount Elite?
Not much.
Athletes?
How about you?
I'll tell you after the race. In the set position, and the gun has sent them away. The clubs and institution lane is 4x1. Sprint Tech moving out well on this first leg, settling, and has actually reached the shoulder and passed it on this first leg. Now on the back stretch, Sprint Tech, I would say way out in front, but based on the stagger, they are way out in front, passing the entrance of the Marathon Tunnel. They'll hand over the baton in the top spot, the penultimate exchange. It's all Sprint Tech. Mount Elite on the outside. They're way behind, about 50 meters or so, and I'm not exaggerating. It's Sprint Tech all alone for this final exchange. The clubs and institutions 4x1. I said about a 50-meter lead as the anchor leg runner from the team they call Sprint Tech carries over the baton, carries over the bacon, stopping the clock at 45.00 seconds, 45.00. Look at that time. Compare it with the Class 1 and Class 2 winners.
Yep, that's exactly where I was going to go.
I know that's where you were going to go, but it's just a flash time. The official time for Sprint Tech is 44.99 seconds. That's the official time. Comes on the board just now. Mount Elite's time placing second, 47.69 seconds. But you're going to compare it with Edwin's Class 1 team and Hyder's Class 2 team. Let me hear what you have to say now, my good friend.
Well, it just, first of all, let me not besmirch the seniors. The seniors are in a different phase of preparation right now.
True.
They're looking towards July, August, trials, world championships. So they're not as sharp as the juniors are. But even factoring that in, it shows you the kind of class that we have at the girls class 1 and class 2 level. We are talking about 6 7 sprinters who, if they are anywhere else in the world, they are making national teams. Well, except for probably the likes of Britain and the US and uh, probably 3 or 4 other countries. But you're talking about probably 160 countries that these girls right away, right now, would be national sprinters. You're talking about Tina Clayton with a 11.09. There are countless countries who have never produced an athlete who runs below 11.1. Tina Clayton, the Clayton twins, they're right there. Hill, Reed, for Heidel, Brianna Liston. You're talking about quality here. So I mean, the superlatives aren't enough to describe what Jamaica has coming. We have seniors right now who are shattering records, who are doing fantastic job at the senior level. But what we have at the junior level coming is just as good.
Well, what we have coming up, not necessarily going way down the line though, but coming up on the track is a 4x1 for clubs and institutions for men. So the gender has changed in the 4x1. We saw all 5 races on the female side, starting with girls class 1, class 2, class 3, and class 4. And then you had clubs and institutions. Now, on the men's side, they started from the clubs and institution. Will they start from class 3, 2, and 1? Will it just flip the switch? We don't know just yet. But one thing we can say, though, you have the lane assignments?
I do. Let me just pull it up real quickly here. This is senior men's 4x1. Lane number 1 should be Mount Elite. Lane,
Popular team.
it looks so. Lane number 2 is MSS Striders. Lane number 3, Speed Unit.
MSS Striders.
Yep. Saw them at Western. Sprint Tech in lane number 4. Racers in lane number 5. St. Vincent and the Grenadines in lane number 6. GC Foster in lane number 7. Mccook in 8. And
You have a lane 9?
yeah, there's actually a 9th team listed in UE Mona, but I don't know where they're going to slot in.
Well, I could have sworn I saw somebody in a UE shirt, though. Maybe I was seeing doubles down by that side. Maybe I was.
Or maybe they're...
Yes, no, I'm not. There's a UE. There is a UE
yeah,
athlete
UE
there. I think he's going
athlete
lane 8. I think he's going in lane 8.
So let's see who is missing.
That I can't tell you, though, because I know the St. Vincent and the Grenadine team have been in Jamaica, have been training for some time. So they won't miss Gibson. As I have to pick up our good friend Paul Reed from the Observer. I don't know what capacity Paul Reed is here. Is he repping the Monroe colors? Or is he repping the Observer colors?
It must be Gleaner.
He works at Observer, so it can't be Gleaner.
Sorry, Observer. Garfield Reed is here as well, giving me a hard time about my hair. Oh my God.
Well, we see people all around that we know, though, haven't seen in a very long time.
I forgot some of the names too.
He's speaking about Garfield Jones, though, but
Garfield
I don't know why
Jones.
he's saying Garfield Reed.
Keeps on calling him Garfield.
Well, there's a little bit of mix-up here because we don't know where they're to be, but I think there are 8 teams, which is a good thing, but we have 9 on our list.
Right.
But the athlete was the usher to lane 9. Now, the officials have moved him from usher to lane 8, pardon me.
Right.
I'm following you. But I think the officials have moved him from lane 8, and they're having a switch around to see what's happening there. But given the lane assignments again, you say Mount Elite in lane 1, and MSS Stride
In 2.
in 2, Speed Unit in 3, Sprint Tech in 4, Racers 5, St. Vincent 6, and GC Foster in 7, Michael in lane 8, and Yui should be in 9. But
on
now
the grass.
Yui seems like they've gone to lane 6
Which would
or
be
7. or sorry, 5 actually.
Lane 5 was originally racers, and that was a big racers team with
Yeah,
the likes of
but I saw the
Seville.
official actually speaking to the racers athlete earlier on. So hopefully they can get it right for the announcers to make the right call in terms of which teams are in the right lane or the correct lane. But we see the athletes for the 4x1 boys are coming out now. So I don't know if they are behind time or in front of time. But a little bit of confusion happening here. We had 9 teams listed for the men's 4x1. We saw 8. Yui, who was in put in lane 5 a short while ago, I think they're out of lane 5. Are they in? Because Racers is
Racers
asking.
is there.
Racers said it's my lane. So
Right.
Yui, who was put into lane 5, first they were put into lane 8. They were taken out. Then they were put into lane 5, and Racers were asked to move one side.
Because
Then they've been taken
Michael
out.
is there, so they can't go in lane 8. Michael is listed for 8.
Is that Oblique Seville?
That's Oblique Sevilla lead off.
So Oblique Seville will lead off the Racers team in lane 5.
In lane 1.
Funny enough, though, some persons thought that Oblique Seville should have actually ran the first leg at the Olympic Games.
And I wouldn't disagree. Put him on anchor.
But I'm not going to say who said it, though. But you had some coaches who said that.
Yeah.
Who thought that.
Get the pressure off.
Yeah, because and in a relay sometimes you get bullied down if you're not physical. He's not a physical sprinter,
Right.
That will be the lineup for
and he's mentally young at the time. He hasn't had a lot of experience in terms of competition because you saw him in his last year at representing Calabar.
Right.
He didn't get the long range
Right.
repping because he was at Homewood, then he moved to Calabar.
Sat out a year.
Exactly.
And then went racers, leaving a year at high school. So
Exactly.
you're not talking about a seasoned high school athlete.
Athlete, exactly. Still wet
Very
under the
young.
collar,
Very
wet under the ears. As athletes,
Spring chicken, Sean?
I don't know though what they're doing though. No, only 4, only 5.
Oh, they're
So
splitting.
they're splitting it then.
Splitting it.
So I'm assuming Mount Elite, MSS Stride, Speed Unit, Sprint Tech, and Racers. So I think that's it. I think they have 9 teams. So decided to run 2 heats. So it will be a timed final. The announcer's not saying anything. I think they're confused. But in the meantime, in the set position, Gunn has sent them away. You have to look at Oblique Seville on this opening leg for Racers. Racers moving away from Sprintec. Sprintec not allowing Racers to go too far. Oh, brilliant leg. This from Sprintec. And they're moving well. Oh, on the back stretch. Sprintec gaining on Racers. Oh, it's a battle between the two. They moved away from the rest of the field for this penultimate exchange. Racers on the outside. Sprintec on the inside. Curving, coming around the bend. Still, Racers maintaining the slight advantage over Sprintec, and a poor baton change. This from Sprintec, and it's all about Racers bouncing home to glory in the men's open. They'll take the top spot, 38.89 seconds. That's the flash time. This for Racers over Sprintec, 38.89, and the official time is 38.89, the same time as the flash. And Sprintec finishes second, and their time 39.19 seconds. But Racers taking the top spot in the clubs and institution. Good legs, good battle between the two teams.
Definitely, especially the first 2 legs. It looks as if O'Shane Bailey led off for Sprintec, got his usual quick start. Oblique Seville, I thought the first couple of steps out of the blocks looked a little bit nervy on the first couple of steps. Recovered well and acquitted himself in the final 80 meters or so. Second leg was a battle. Looked as if we had Dwyer for Sprintec. Did a fantastic
He
job.
was on that backstretch.
Yeah, did a fantastic job for Sprintec and put them in contention. Looks as if we had Demish Gay, I think, for Sprintec on
the anchor.
That
looks like it was
It
Demish
was
Gay.
Demish Gay.
You can't miss the high lifts.
Yeah. Demish Gay, originally a quarter miler.
Originally, he's a quarter
miler. May not have enough speed to live with the
But
sprinters.
one thing I'm happy with though is what Coach Wilson is doing from Sprintec. I've seen him done 60 meters.
Yep.
Seen him doing the 4x1s. So he's trying to increase his speed, though, because you do need speed in the 400 meters. So
Yep.
to use him that way, his speed will increase. And
Yep.
always, coaches always say speed kills.
Yep.
And you need that on the international scene. And for him to run 43 low, not 43 low though, 43 mid.
Yep.
But you have to need that speed. I have to get that speed, and he needs that speed, and he's working on that speed. Who ran the third leg for racers?
I'm not sure, Sean. I think you'll tell me.
No, you know. He got an Olympic medal, but it was taken away from him, from England.
Oh, that would have been.
What is he checking? What is he checking? Only one. How many Englishmen are there?
Darnell Hughes.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. Darnell Hughes ran the third leg for racers coming around the bend, though. But good run from both teams, though. To be honest, good run from both teams. I'm liking what I'm seeing early season, as you pointed out,
Yeah.
in terms of where the training regime is for juniors and seniors.
Yeah, I mean 38-8 isn't going to win you any medals at World Games, but this stage of the season, I am satisfied.
Why wouldn't it win you any medals at Worlds?
Medals are closer to the 38 low bar.
You can never tell what happened, though.
Well, you can drop a button and people can
look
fall
at the
flat
Olympic.
and
What
that
what
sort of
time
thing.
won the men's 100 meters at the Olympic Games last year?
The men's 100
Yeah.
meters, 9.8, 9.80.
Who ran it?
Lamont.
Okay.
Right. So I mean Lamont 9.8. It's not a bad time.
I never
Sean.
say it was a bad time, though. Never say it was a horrible time. But you have been spoiled by a young man
You see?
from Trelawney.
Oh my. He has definitely spoiled us.
Us?
Yeah, the entire track and field community.
Let's go back to the track. The UWI, they have been placed in 5 finally. 9 teams came out a short while ago. St. Vincent in 6. You have GC Foster there and also Michael. So those are the 4 teams, and the gun has stopped them, sent them away, and brought them back. Is it a false start or faulty starting from these 4 teams in Heat 2 of the men's 4x1 clubs and institutions?
Wouldn't it be interesting if we end up with 8 teams now, Sean?
One got disqualified now. But that wouldn't have happened, though.
Yeah, I mean, I what the officials have done, I must commend them on thinking on their feet. Just split the heats and put everybody where they were originally assigned and get you into 5.
I saw they pull up the red on in box 7, but they put it back down. And box 7 is where Michael is. However, they put it back down. So I think it's going to be 40 starting more so than anything. No, red to UWI. Oh my word. UWI was the problem. And they've got
Not
false
the
starting.
problem, Sean. They were the extra team.
They were the extra team in this 4x1 clubs and institution. They did not know where to put them. So they actually put it into group 1 and group 2. Because you had 9 teams. They did not know where to put Yui. They finally found a spot for Yui, and when the race went off, a red card, they're out. Oh my. Oh my. Now we're
Let's
down.
get back to business.
Oh my word. St. Vincent, GC Foster and Michael. Yui is out. A judge to have false started in this clubs and institution 4x1. Athletes in the set position, and the gun has sent them away. And a good start this from Michael on the outside, so too GC Foster on his inside. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That's lagging back somewhat on this opening exchange. Oh, poor exchange. And a yellow card goes out. And now the disqualification is going to be GC Foster. They're going to be out. So, poor exchange. The athlete on the second leg ran out of the box. But they're out in front, though, GC Foster. But they will be disqualified on the inside. St. Vincent and the Grenadines on the outside. Michael, GC Foster with a 3-meter lead over St. Vincent and the Grenadines on this final exchange, the final run. And St. Vincent and the Grenadines trying to get back at it and go to the line. But GC Foster just ahead of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. 40.02 seconds. Michael finishes in 3rd. But as we stated before, on that first exchange, the athlete who was collecting the baton on that first exchange ran out of the blocks. We saw the yellow flag go up. And so they will be disqualified at GC Foster College. And they're down to 2. Started with 4 in that heat. And the heat officially will close with 2.
Yeah, Sean, that is
And you
interesting.
were laughing after you'd have lied, though.
No, I was laughing after
You're
UW.
cruel.
I was laughing at the situation.
Oh, my word.
We worked so hard to find a spot for them, and then they didn't get to run.
Well, that's how it is, though. And if you see, we're down to now the boys' class 1, 4 by 1. Calabar, there in lane 1, Kingston College in 2, Stets in 3, that's St. Elizabeth Technical High, Edwin Allen in 4. In 5, you have St. Catherine. In 6, Jamaica College. In 7, Woolmers. And in lane 8, looks who it is. Is it St. Jago? Yes, it is. And 18, so the boys' class 1, 4 by 1. This is going to be a cracker. Can you call it? Can you call it?
I won't call it, Sean.
No, you're not going to call it. You're going to be standing on the fence. You're going to join me on the fence.
I'll go on the fence on this one.
Oh, my
Sean.
word. That fence is going to be a huge fence if you're joining me on that fence. Though.
Yes, Sean. I have no problem with that. This is going to be a crackerjack of a final.
Oh, my word. And we have to take a break now. Have to take a break and leave from the National Stadium. I think we're journeying over to Caymanas Park.
Medal presentation for myself, Rain for the wins. Children of the All-Round Committee of the Gibson Group. Inter and Homo Technical, 46.98 seconds.
Edwin has 2 St. Juice level stats.
In second, Haida, 46.45 seconds. And beginning the event, St. Jacob, 45.71 seconds. Class 3, 4 by 100 meters relay for high school girls. Again, thanks to our sponsors, CIBC, First County, and National Bank. And thanks to Professor Wayne Good, the organizing committee at the Gibson Group. Congratulations, ladies.
St. Elizabeth Technical. Lane 4, Edwin Allen.
So getting ready for the boys class 1, 4 by 1. Calabar in lane 1, Kingston College in 2, St. Elizabeth Technical in 3, that's Stets. Edwin Allen in 4, in 5, St. Catherine, in 6, Jamaica College, in 7, Woolmers, and in lane 8,
Set back in 2015 by Calabar.
37.2. That record will not go today, many persons may predict. In the meantime, athletes been asked to go into their respective blocks. Boys class 1, 4 by 1. Calabar, Kingston College, Stets, Edwin Allen, St. Catherine, JC, Woolmers, and St. Jago. Athletes in their respective blocks. Gibson Mccook Relays 2022 edition. Class 1 boys 4 by 1. And the gun has sent them away. Good start from Edwin Allen. So too Jamaica College on the outside and Kingston College. But Stets now gaining on Edwin. Oh, brilliant start from Stets. And it will be Stets handing over the bat. Not the greatest exchange at all. But here comes St. Jago and also Jamaica College and St. Catherine. Oh, for this penultimate exchange. It looks JC hands over the bat in the top position. On the inside, St. Catherine cruising around on the bend is JC and St. Catherine. St. Catherine cutting the deficit for this final exchange. It is St. Catherine on the outside. Poor band change from St. Catherine. JC out in front about 3 meters. On the inside is Kingston College. But St. Jago on the outside. They've got the fourth, third, second and first. Brilliant run from St. Jago. 40.26 seconds from St. Jago. Winning the boys class 1, 4 by 1. Brilliant anchor. 40.26 seconds for St. Jago. 40.26 for the official time. 40.40 for Jamaica College in second. St. Catherine third. 40.50 seconds. Are you feeling goosebumps?
Goosebumps, Sean. Goosebumps, Sean. St. Jago came from nowhere. They were gone. As we like to say in colloquial terms, they were dead in the show. And
Dead in the what?
They were dead in the show, Sean.
Oh, in the show. Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Oh.
they're dead in the show.
In the shower or in the show?
They show like movie. They're
Oh, in
dead
the
in the
show.
movie.
Okay, okay.
They were nowhere to be seen.
Oh,
They
that's
were
good
gone.
to know.
And that ankle leg, I think, was from Prince. Wow. Brought St. Jago back. Wow. Gregory Prince he is one to be watched this year. Also want to mention for Edwin Allen, Brian Lavelle. In all the mix-up, he ran a fantastic second
Second leg.
leg. So teams using different strategy, but if you know what you're looking for, you're gonna see the speed. Gregory Prince, Brian Lavelle. So caught my eye today.
Oh, yes, they did, though. St. Jago being congratulated by their coach or coaches all around, winning the boys class 1 4 by 1.
Also want to mention the San Diego team. Sandra Davidson, second leg, did a fantastic job as well. So it might not be the big schools this year with Calabar and Jamaica College and San Diego. It might be and Kingston College. It might just be San Diego, St. Catherine, and Edwin Allen who have the talk in terms of the class one boys sprints, because from what I saw today, those three boys, they are ready.
Oh, yes, they are. St. Jago, not necessarily a great time, though, but good enough to win, carry home the bacon in the boys class 1 4 by 1, 40.26 seconds. This from St. Jago. And winning the boys class 1. Getting ready for the class 2 boys 4 by 1. We had all 5 events on the girls' side, starting with class 4 through to 1. Start 1 through to 4, I should say, and the clubs and institutions was a 5th. And now starting on the male side, clubs and institution, and the class 1 boys. Now we're down to class 2.
Class 2 boys. 4 by
So we're
1.
working our way to the lower classes.
Yes, as it was with the girls. They started
Right.
from class 1 through to class 4.
Right.
Lane 1, St. Jago. Lane 2, Kingston College. Lane 4, Campbell. Lane 5, Calabar. Lane 6, Jamaica College.